Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back to the channel, and if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I stay kicking. And I appreciate all the support. I'm very humbled by it. Thank you. So before we get into this case right here, this is one of the most disturbing cases ever to come out of the state of California. This involves a man who definitely had mental issues going on. It involves a woman who loved that man and didn't know how to get away from him. It involves a baby who tragically didn't get a chance to live a life. This right here is the story of Manuel Vela and Katrina Rivera from Bakersfield. Now we're going to get into the story, and for those of you that are a little squeamish, I'm telling you guys right now, this one is not for you. You need to earmuff it. But for those of you that are interested in true crime and are interested in these types of stories, this is the one for you. So let's get to it. Let's hear Manuel Vela explain this tragic situation in his own words. And throughout the reflection of what he's going to say, I'm going to explain to you guys the story and how it went down. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm with 17 News, the local NBC station.
Yes.
So we're just going to interview you about what happened and how you got here.
In December of 2016, 8-month pregnant Katrina Rivera went missing. Several days later, her fiancé Manuel Vela was chased down by the police, leading to the discovery of her mutilated body in the back seat of a car. Not only did he kill Katrina, but he then cut their unborn son from her stomach with a box cutter, and at some point before being caught, killed the infant as well.
So let me explain to you. Katrina Rivera went missing and was missing for about 2 or 3 days. Now, she had put several restraining orders on her boyfriend, Manuel Vela. She was trying to move on with her life. She was 9 months pregnant. He was in and out of her life. She couldn't let him go. She was trying, though, because she understood, just like everyone else in her family and a lot of people understood, he was going through some mental issues. This was someone that wasn't right in the head. He had told her several times before that he was going to murder her and their unborn baby, and no one took him seriously. He cried out for help. He was asking for help, and no one seemed to realize that he was willing to go the distance he was going to go. Now, again, most times people commit crimes, they're in a high-speed chase. This guy literally took the Bakersfield Police Department on a slow speed chase, and cruised around the neighborhood, dangling his unborn son after he cut him out of Katrina Rivera out of the car, dangling the baby. A foot pursuit ensued when he was finally pulled over. He took off with the baby in his arms and then threw the baby down and continued to run until he was arrested and confronted. Let's get into some of his story, and you guys are going to see his mindset right now. This guy was wild. Just unfortunate, man, all the way around.
So yesterday, what happened with your girlfriend?
Will you be,
Katrina?
excuse me, would you be doing this live or as
No, it's
a
not live. It's just recorded.
documentary? What are you trying to
We're doing it for the
questions? For arrest?
No, for the news.
For the interest of just that NBC?
So you can get your side.
So see, he was conscious enough and understanding enough to know the difference of a reporter doing this interview and a sheriff's department doing this interview, you know, to get you basically, he didn't want to say anything to them. It's going to get a little deeper and a little trickier, man. Let's listen.
Of the story, what happened now? So you can
I don't know quite what you got on your side of the fence.
We just work for the news station.
Know about my side of what happened with the situation.
Yeah, we just want to know your side.
Because I don't know exactly if I could put myself in any trouble at all by saying.
You don't have to say anything that you feel is going to get you in.
he definitely knew enough not to put himself in trouble. Hey, it's too late, buddy. It's fucking too late. You already killed your girl and cut your son from her. It's a little too late for that, right?
In trouble, you don't have to answer all the questions.
All right, I can answer some questions. That's exactly how you said.
Okay. Yeah, answer the questions however you feel. If you don't want to answer any of the questions, you don't have to.
Oh, that's fine. I understand. You can proceed.
See, he allowed the reporter to proceed with the questions. I believe, and I'm not covering for this man. This man, just like Jay Caro, gets no type of sympathy or love, regardless if he had mental issues, regardless if he was, under the influence of drugs or alcohol or anything like that. There is never any excuse for violating a woman or hurting a child, right? Even if it's your own child, none. But at the same time, with his mental issues, I believe they should have provided a lawyer for him. Regardless, this is the way it went down. This is the story.
So what happened yesterday? How did this all start?
What this is? 12/8. That's when this all started. About how this person ended up dead, Katrina Rivera, with the baby cut out. And
Did you cut the baby out of her?
yes, I did.
Although he shows concern that answering any questions might incriminate him, Vela almost immediately admits cutting the baby from his girlfriend's stomach. Disturbingly, there is very little emotion to go with this horrific revelation. It should also be noted that he refers to his girlfriend as this person. Consciously or not, he is distancing himself from her. This could either be to diminish his connection to her or to make it less personal in his mind to cope with what he has done.
And I'm not going to lie, I think in his mind, it wasn't he wanted to relive everything he did. He did what he did for a reason, and he's going to explain it further as we go along into this video. But I believe he was just distancing himself from her, from the crime, while admitting it. This shows his mental capacity of understanding is shot out, right? He just doesn't, he's living in a haze, in a fog right now. He knows what he done. He'll admit to doing it, but his mind's telling him maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it's something that acted out. So when he says this person, he's doing that by basically saying, I don't know this person, but I cut her stomach open. Let's go.
Why?
Prove a point to religion.
Isn't it your baby?
It's our baby. Yes.
So yes, he's blaming religion for the reason why he did this.
So what point were you proving?
First and foremost, to defy every religion-based political, to defy every law of any God creation of a book. You understand? Yeah.
So did you think what you were doing was the right thing, or did you realize it was going to kill her?
Well, we quite, as a team, from extraterrestrial to religion to science, understand the voyage of telepathy.
This guy was watching Twilight Zone too late at night and came up with this plan and idea, right? To even say that Katrina Rivera agreed to this or knew that this was going to happen is crazy. But I guess telepathy and these religious books are what formulated his mind, or formed in his mind to formulate this plan to basically kill his girlfriend and his own child. You could tell, man, he's a little bit off. Some people, while doing a crime, literally will use insanity as a defense, or try to. It's very rare that it's you're given the option to use it. You have to be very crazy. This guy definitely had that option. He's not playing a game. This is the truth.
And somewhat of higher power vested in us as a team, me and Katrina Rivera. So I understood, yes, that I was gonna kill her. She understood that she had to die.
His reasoning is bizarre. It seems to have been some type of protest against pro-life religion or political leanings, but it is difficult to understand what he hoped to accomplish. He claims that Rivera understood that she was going to die and chose to go through with it, but at this point he can make any claim, since she is no longer alive to dispute it.
Exactly, I agree. What he's saying to us sounds crazy. To him, he understands everything he's saying, and he believes that. Without Christina Rivera to say, we made this pact and I agreed to let him do this, we don't really know, right? But I could pretty much guarantee, that child in that stomach didn't have a say-so. And I could pretty much say that him taking Katrina from her home against her will, the story doesn't add up. So, with all that being said and just having some conscious way of thinking, I could say that this guy was just off his rocker, right? Let's get more into it.
A wound on his face, however, is a possible indication that there was a struggle.
Yes, she fought back, or the cops beat his ass when they seen him throw the baby out the car.
And she was okay with that?
Well, she accepted it, yes.
So, were you guys on drugs before you did this?
No, not at all.
Was this something that you had planned for a long time to do?
Well, it wasn't really something we planned on to do since Jesus returned, back when he was hanging on those crosses, 3 crosses, right here in back of the Canyon Hills, what you represented. Hello. As they did back in 2000.
Did that idiot just say hello? Right? It's not a laughing matter. It's a serious case. But at the same time, man, I'm very opinionated and I like to bring my own style to this. And I would have heard that. I'd have snatched him up by the handcuffs and threw him as far as I could. This guy seems like he's making a mockery out of it. What seems like he's doing and the way he's clowning, he really isn't. He truly believes in this stuff. But me as a person of sound mind, I wouldn't be able to sit there and listen to this. This guy just done blamed everyone else but himself, but at the same time admitting it. This is the only guy in the history that I know that will admit a crime and do a defense at the same time. It's crazy. And God motherfucker believe in him. Weird.
Before Christ and after Christ, whatever, after death, whatever they want to mix it up right now a little bit with you. To say the least, I was capable of a lot better. I could have went with this other option, but I just respected the plan, the authority of the Father, so the Holy Spirit within said,
what was the other option?
Leaving and going the path of defying the Father.
So in his mind, he believes that Jesus or God or whoever his higher power is basically told him he had to do this. But he had options. He could have walked away, he's saying. But he chose the first option, right? Which was unaliving Katrina Rivera and his baby, because he believes God told him so. We never know what's going through these people's minds.
Do you guys have any other kids together?
Now he's saying that God told him to do this. His inability to stick to one story for more than a few minutes, coupled with his slightly slurred speech and exaggerated facial movements, make it hard to believe him when he says he hasn't been using drugs. Although,
yeah, to me it seems like he's high. If not, he's Thorzined out the game. It seems like he's on pastillas. He's on some type of medication that slows you down, right? Slow state, not flow state, slow state, right? He's slowed down, but at the same time, he's pretty coherent. He's using words that are difficult for some to use, right? So, I mean, this guy's just all over the place. I don't believe that he was medicated up. I believe maybe possibly to keep him calm, but I believe more so than anything, this is just him. I've seen people like him on prison yards. I've seen people like him in real life. He is what you would consider a super 5150, a EOP, a JCat. That's what they look like. That's how they act.
So he is telling the truth.
No matter of fact, we have Madeline, me and Vela, yes.
When they were born, did you guys consider doing anything like this with them?
Oh, these are first facts of what you talking about? Yes.
So why with this baby?
Oh, this baby? Because as a father who I am, I'm facing these shit as an antichrist, regardless of any nature of humankind come in contact with she's saying you know, a higher being.
Right then and there, as a reporter, I'd have got up and said, "We got enough. Book him, Daniel. I'm walking away." This guy right here is nuts. Literally, 2 balls, nuts. You know, when we recognize that people have mental health issues in society, we need to do what we can as concerned citizens to be concerned citizens, right? To help, because people are running around like this that literally need help. And if not, in their minds, they will commit heinous and vicious and violent crimes, usually to those that are closest to them, because they have better access at them, because the people trust them. Even though they know something's wrong with them, they're like, nah, he'll never do anything to me. Quite the contrary, right? This guy right here was crazy. It's the only way to say it.
As our presence of brain, you know, will go and smack as a whole nation, as one, as every, you know, other individual, 7 nations, and say, hey, whose brain are you? You like my flesh? You know? Could look at you and just say, hey, me? How you like my brain? Huh? Well, that's fine. And get back to the topic and say, well, accepted the fact that it was going to come, and the kids didn't know a lot about it. They just had to act like we're just humans and say, that's fine. You know, mental illness rules, rock on, you know?
So when yesterday...
You notice how he said mental illness rules, rock on. So he's probably been told in the past that he had that. I think he has a little bit of an understanding of what he's going through. And everyone everyone else around knows something's bad going on in his head. He got a screw loose, right? But he never received the help. No one ever took it upon themselves to say, hey, man, come over here. You know, maybe we should check you in somewhere or help you. Society, you know, we're too busy caring about ourselves and worried about what's going on when we have babies missing and babies being cut out and all these crazy things, you know. And it's not like as one person we could change the world, but as a piece of the puzzle, we could put the puzzle together to change something. For reals, man, this guy is nuts.
Did you take the baby out?
When yesterday, well, this was on the...
before the police came or after they came?
This was before. I took him out about 7 hours prior. Killed her on the 8th. Late night at 9/11, but it's that front porch of our house in 2213 Fairfax. And she wanted me, but off the subject, put her in the car or whatnot, drove down, did whatever. And, you know, had some time to my father and just be with it.
So was the baby alive at first?
No, you know.
So basically he's saying that they were on the porch. She wanted to do something, probably, which was get the fuck away from him. And he puts her into the car against her will, takes her down to a park, wherever they went. That's where he unalives her. That's where he cuts up the baby. And now we're going to get to what he did after that, which was crazy.
Kept a little hour, 6 hours to myself, just with her dead in the back seat, side of the road, somewhere, over on Cottonwood. And just had a time to reflect what me and my father had, you know, been sent here to do.
Vela alternates between babbling incoherently and being able to give clear details such as his address, the location of where he parked the car with Rivera's body, and what he did. At this point, more information is needed to determine if he is being influenced by drugs or if he is suffering from a mental illness.
Come on, brother, you can't tell? That is mental illness for reals. Man, there's not a shot of heroin in the world that could do that to you.
Antichrist to Jesus, Satan to Jesus Christ, and we just talk about how we're gonna proceed and whatever we understand.
So literally he was hearing voices because he believed that this voice, who he believes was God or Jesus or the devil, he mentions the devil, pointed him in the direction to do this crime, right? So he sat down for 7 hours with his dead girl in the back seat of the car and had a conversation with his self, basically in his this voice that spoke to him, so they could decide what they were going to do next. Okay, yeah. I bet you he didn't give you good advice.
Understand about how do we communicate, and then put into the plan and effect which route we took. So then, therefore, we just went, okay, I got back in the car, drove to the mission over there on Edison Highway, just relaxed right there, wait till it's called a prophecy fulfilled, yeah.
He feels that he fulfilled a prophecy. So he cruised over to a mission and just chilled out, just hung out with the dead body in the backseat of the car, dead baby, because he fulfilled his prophecy. Yeah, this shit gets weirder and weirder.
Everybody involved, we're not human nature. And then that's why I stood for a little bit. And that's why I cut her open when he told me to.
So he had already strangled her. And this is where he decides to cut his girl open because some voice told him to. Oh, now I get it. Now you're making a lot of sense. Okay. You got to get permission from a voice to do things like this to your girlfriend. Ah, okay. All right. We get it now.
Who told you to?
The Father. It's just the same one who was to communicate with Jesus Christ is when he was here.
So, do you think that you're possessed by the devil?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm the Antichrist. I'm capable of taking separate business of any God that ever said the Creator was here to defy law of anything that I ever said, that I was Adam from the first, to understand the flesh or pleasure.
After proclaiming himself to be the Antichrist, it's looking more and more apparent that Vela has some form of mental illness. He is clearly delusional and in need of a mental evaluation. If he has had similar events in the past, Rivera may have very well pretended to go along with him to appease him, not realizing how dangerous he was, or else she may have been trying to get him away from their other children.
Yeah, I agree. I think his girlfriend at some point needed to realize and come to an understanding that, hey, some ain't right. Some ain't definitely right. You know what's crazy is to think about, was he born like this? Did something tragic happen to him to change him, to make him like this? I've had friends that have got on drugs that never came back, meaning they got high and just were never the same. We used to say it never coming back, right? And then I've had friends that didn't come back for a year and then run into them and then they're normal again. Like, what happened, bro? You came back. Like, man, I just woke up out of the fog. I don't know if this was drug induced. This was paranoia. This was just something that was in him that released. But unfortunately, man, this is the type of people out there having children, and he has issues, just like Jay Carl with this whole thing going on with baby Manuel. He has issues. He can't keep his hand off women and children. And he's going to suffer for that. But in suffering, a lot of other people suffer. It's crazy, man. This story right here is just as bad. We're talking about Charles Manson shit here. Manson family. It's nuts.
Put it into a soul, inside and out. The firstborn, that's me. Yeah, it's me. The perfect specimen. That's it. That's it. The definition of They fulfill something nobody else ever will ever compare to.
So we're going to end it right there. That is part 1 of this reaction to Manuel Vela, who killed his wife, Katrina Rivera, his girlfriend, and cut out their unborn baby. We will be hitting you with part 2 because this story has a couple tragic twists. It definitely has a twist at the end. So we will be getting into part 2 later on. Thank you guys so much for all your support, man. We're going to start getting into more true crime stories. This is going to get deeper and deeper. I promise that. Hope you guys like this. If you guys like these type of stories, man, hit a 1. Let me know in the chat. Leave an opinion. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. And that's the betterment of all people, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.